Hi, Geometry. On these pages, we are learning how to graph our quadratic functions from standard form. So this will be in our standard form of the equation. That's our ax squared plus bx plus c. And as we learned on page 9 notes, in order to graph from standard form, we want to use our equation that x equals negative b over 2a. So let's get started on number 1. In this particular problem, my a is 1, that's the number in front of x squared, my b is 2, and my c is negative 2. So step 1 is always to find my vertex. And to do that, I have to use my equation for x because I don't know what my vertex is. So let's go find it. X equals negative b, so in this case, negative 2 over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. So I get negative 2 over 2, or negative 1. So I now know that the x coordinate, my vertex, is negative 1. Well, how do we find our y coordinate? Well, if you remember from our notes from page 9, we're going to take our x coordinate and we're going to plug it into our equation and see what we get for y. So let's go back up to our equation. Y equals, and everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in a negative 1. So it's negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 2. I don't know why I did another parenthesis. And so that gives us negative 1 squared is 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and then minus 2. So it looks like that's giving me a negative 3. So my y value then would be negative 3. So my vertex would be negative 1, negative 3. Let's go graph that. Negative 1 in the x direction and down 3 in the y. So we're going to use our quadratic movement, our xy table, our 1, 1, 2, 4. But I am going to go double check my a. My a equals 1, so I am not going to change my movements. They're going to stay 1, 1, 2, 4. So let's go do that. I'm going to go over 1 and up 1. And now I'm going to go left 1 and up 1, just like we did from vertex form. Now I'm going to go over 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go left 2 and up 4. And I'm going to draw in my parabola that is given in problem 1. So let's go do the same thing for number 2. So again, I just look at my equation and I can see that my a value is negative 1, my b value is 2, and my c value is negative 5. So first up, I need to find my vertex, and to do that, I need to find the x coordinate. So I know x equals, and in this case, it's negative b, so b is 2, so it'll be negative 2 over 2 times a, which is negative 1. So I'm getting negative 2 over negative 2, or a positive 1 for my x coordinate. So now I need to go find my y coordinate. So let's be careful here. A common mistake is made right here. The negative in front of my x squared is a coefficient. It's not with my x, it's in front of my x. And so my 1 being squared is what's in parentheses, plus 2 times 1 minus 5. So when I square 1, I get 1, and that negative in front becomes my coefficient. It's like multiplying by a negative 1. So this will be a negative 1 plus 2 minus 5. So it looks like on this problem I'm getting a negative 4 for my y coordinate. Let's go graph that. 1, negative 4. And then let's remember our movements. Our movements are always 1, 1, 2, 4. But I go check my a value, which in this case happens to be a negative 1. And that means I'm going to multiply my y movements by my a. So I get a negative 1 movement and a negative 4 movement for my y movements. So let's go do that. I'm going to go to the right 1 and down 1. I'm going to go to the left 1 and down 1. I'm now going to go back to my vertex and go right 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go left 2 and down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to draw in my parabola. And that would be the answer to my question. So let's go to page 2. What happens when I have a value besides 1 and -1 for my a? We've looked at those when we did vertex form. So let's look at number 8 on page 2. So again, I glance at my equation and I realize my a is -2, my b is -12, and my c is -21. So let's do my first step and find the x coordinate of my vertex. So x equals -b, so this is a -12, all over 2 times a, which is -2. Well, a -12 is a +12, and 2 times -2 is a -4. That's giving me a -3 for my x coordinate of my vertex. I'm now going to plug that in and get my y coordinate of my vertex. So let's go do that. Y equals -2 is my coefficient. It's out in front of the -3 getting squared. That's my x squared. Minus 12 times -3 minus 21. So -3 squared, -3 times -3 is a +9. If for any reason you're getting a -9 on your calculator, you're not using parentheses when you square your -3. -12 times -3 is +36 and minus 21. -2 times 9 is -18. So what I really have here is a -18 plus 36, which is +18, minus 21, which is giving me a -3 for my y coordinate. So it looks like my vertex then is -3, -3. Let's go graph that. And now I'm going to do my XY movement, my 1, 1, 2, 4. But this time my A is -2. So I'm going to multiply both my Y movements by this -2. I get -2 when I do 1 times -2. And I get -8 when I do 4 times -2. So now I'm going to do my movements. I'm going to do right 1 and down 2, and left 1 and down 2. And now I'm going to do my right 2 down 8, right 2 down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I'm going to go left 2 and down 8. And I'm going to have a more narrow parabola. Make sure you're not drawing a V. It's not really a V, it's a curve. But the 2 makes it more narrow, and the negative makes my parabola go in the downward direction. Thank you, geometry. See you in class.